A few days ago, we discussed how Kaapo Kakko was setting records playing over in Liiga and having a very impressive season, and could he possibly challenge Jack Hughes for the #1 overall spot in the draft? Well, today we're going to take a look at Jack Hughes setting records of his own, plus also the best pure goal scorer in the draft, Nicole Caulfield, breaking records as well. We'll get into all that coming up next. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. If you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. We review and discuss all 31 NHL teams, so if you're a huge hockey fan, consider subscribing and clicking the bell so you don't miss anything. So as I mentioned the other day, we were discussing how Kaapo Kakko was having a very impressive record-breaking season playing over in Liiga, and could he possibly rival Jack Hughes for the #1 overall selection in this year's entry draft in Vancouver? While you ponder that question, let's take a look at how much of an impressive season Jack Hughes is having on his own and breaking his own records in the United States National Team Development Program. Hughes and Nicole Caulfield both broke records here in the last couple of days, and it actually happened on the same goal. Nicole Caulfield had a record-breaking goal, and which also was assisted by Jack Hughes, which gave him a record for points. So let's take a look at their impressive feats here. Jack Hughes, with that assist on the Nicole Caulfield goal, gave himself 190 points over the last 2 seasons, breaking a record previously held by Arizona Coyotes forward Clayton Keller. Now that 190 points is broken down into 60 goals and 130 assists. So Jack Hughes is an incredibly gifted hockey player, as we've discussed before. Really all season he's been the projected #1 overall draft selection. And in my last video discussing Kaapo Kakko, I do think that he's really made a good effort here to be in the conversation to possibly challenge Jack Hughes, but I know many still believe that Hughes is still the #1 overall draft pick and likely is going to stay that way, and that very well might be the case. But I know Kakko has certainly been impressive in his own right, but they're very different types of hockey players here. I mean, Jack Hughes appears to be a generational type skating talent, the type of player who could keep up with a Connor McDavid. He's that good of a skater. His agility and his edge work is fantastic. His ability to stick handle and pass is also incredible as well. He doesn't have a big booming shot or anything. His shot is accurate, and he seems to be able to get shots away even in the most awkward circumstances and situations. And like I said, it's very accurate, but he's certainly not known for having a big shot. Majority of his goals are scored from his stick handling, and he's really more so known for his vision along with his incredible playmaking abilities here. So they're very different types of players, different sizes as well. I mean, you get Jack Hughes around 5'10", Kakko's around 6'4", so there are some concerns over Jack Hughes' size. I mean, he's not as tall, and he's a bit on the thin side, so I know there are some that kind of wonder about his, his physical being in the NHL once he arrives there, especially if he were to go next year, which is very more than likely. I know a lot of these other American-born players have committed to playing college hockey for at least 1 season, where it appears as though obviously Jack Hughes, being so strong and so special of a player, that he likely will go straight to the NHL. So obviously his size, it is a slight concern for some people. But it goes to show you here just how special of a player Jack Hughes is with these kind of records. Obviously, they've had a lot of great American-born players come through that program here over the last number of years, and he now holds the record for the most points. So that's very, very impressive in his own right. So as much as Kaapo Kakko might have closed the gap and might be getting into that conversation for #1, Jack Hughes still has a lot of reasons why he still deserves to be #1 overall here as well. Now, taking a look at another prospect, Nicole Caulfield, who kind of flies under the radar a little bit, which is a little bit surprising. He is labeled as the best goal scorer in this NHL draft. The 2019 draft does appear to have a lot of high-end talent near the top of the draft, but in my opinion, after the top 2, there's certainly a bit of a drop-off, and then from really 3 down through 10, there's another drop-off here again once you get to the middle and latter half of the first round for sure. Nicole Caulfield, by many scouting services, are ranked anywhere from like 15 to 25th, 26th, somewhere in that range. Very few have them ranked higher than that. But to be the best pure goal scorer and have an incredible shot and score at the rate that he has, it's kind of amazing and a little bit mind-boggling why he's not ranked higher. Now, when I've done my rankings here on the channel, and I've done a couple times here so far this season, he hasn't cracked the top 10, but as this season has gone on, really, he certainly appears to be the type of player who can kind of squeeze himself into one of those top 10 spots here before all is said and done. Nicole Caulfield with the record-breaking goal on the assist from Jack Hughes here the other day breaks the record previously held by Pittsburgh Penguins star Phil Kessel. Obviously, Phil Kessel's been a long-time NHL player who scored a ton of goals and scored a ton of goals in the U.S. National Team Development Program before making it to the NHL. So it's certainly some great company that he's put himself into here. So over the past 2 seasons, that gives Caufield 105 goals, 153 points. He's got 51 goals on the season. He's just shy of breaking the single season record, also held by Toronto Maple Leaf star and former #1 overall selection Austin Matthews, who scored 55 goals in 1 season and currently holds that record. So that very well might be a possibility here for Caufield to attain as well. So obviously this guy can score goals like nobody's business. The only reason that I can come up with here that it appears to be any kind of remotely as a negative on his scouting report is that he's small. He's only 5'7", around 157 pounds. But it just seems to be unjustified here to rank him so low based on his size. I mean, I realize size does matter to a degree, but in today's NHL, that is mattering less and less all the time, and it's really more about the skating and the skill development here. And this kid certainly has plenty of skill, and like I said, he can score like nobody else in this draft. Now, with another U.S.-born player who's been getting a lot of attention in this draft, being a high first-round pick, is Matthew Baldy. He's kind of labeled as a pretty good goal scorer himself, and he certainly is, but Caulfield's pretty much doubled his total. So in my opinion, Caulfield really hasn't been getting the attention he really deserves, and this season has gone on. He's continued to get better and put up more numbers, and hopefully this record will get more scouts' attention. And I think he could be the type of player at the draft that we see kind of go much higher than many scouting services has him ranked. Pretty much every year you see 1 or 2 guys go up, in the top 10 or top 15 that were kind of labeled later in the first round. You see teams kind of going, off the charts, if you will. And I can see a team taking a chance with this type of player. I mean, if you look at other smaller players, especially ones from the U.S., like a Johnny Gaudreau or an Alex DeBrincat, he certainly seems like he could be that type of player and be a very special first-line goal scorer at the NHL level. So I'd be quite surprised if we don't see a team picking in the top 10 take a chance on this kid. He's absolutely dynamite. Nicole Caulfield won't be going immediately to the NHL. He has committed to play at the University of Wisconsin. Of course, when these players commit to U.S. college hockey, it's really not clear exactly how long they're going to play there. I mean, obviously, he could play 1 season, could be 2, could be 3. We really don't know what his intentions are. It's probably going to depend on how the season goes. It's going to depend on the team that drafts him. There's going to be lots of consultations between himself, his agent, his family, the team, etc. But Cole Caulfield appears destined for stardom here at the NHL level. This kind of record he's setting, breaking Phil Kessel's record is very, very, very impressive. And it seems, like I said, he's just been flying under the radar, not getting the attention he deserves. And I know next time I do my rankings, he's certainly going to be moving up for sure. And I wouldn't be surprised to see him go much higher than many scouting services have expected here. Based on all his play in the record-breaking season that he's been having here, is Jack Hughes safe in the #1 overall selection? Is he definitely going to be #1 overall? Or is the record-breaking season that Kaapo Kakko was set, playing against men over in Liiga, is that more impressive? Let me know what you think down below in the comment section. Which of these records is more impressive, and which one do you see going #1 and #2? And also, if Cole Caulfield really is the best goal-scoring player in this NHL draft, why isn't he ranked higher? And can you see any teams kind of going off the charts here and using one of their top 10 picks, for example, to snag this guy? I mean, look at how late Alex DeBrincat went with the Chicago Blackhawks, and look what he's doing now. He's going to be a 40-plus goal scorer in his young career. So you certainly got to take a chance sometimes and snag these players, because if you're not, another team's going to grab him and you are going to miss out. And his talent, in my opinion, just appears too much to be overlooked and passed over. If you're new to the channel here, I hope you consider subscribing. We cover all 31 NHL teams, and there's plenty of content here for all hockey fans to enjoy. So if you're new, hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up before you go. I'd appreciate it if you did. As always, thank you very much for watching, everybody. We will catch you next time.